You are not you. What the hell does that mean, Mark? Let's talk about it. Peace. And as always, cheers, folks. Mark, Flying Health Coach. Happy insert day as always, whenever you decide to watch this video, whenever it comes across your feed, if you will. As always, I'm happy that you're here. I hope you're happy that you're here. And yeah, I do these videos because I always just want to make people think a little bit differently, go down a different path, or choose a different mindset, or discover new resources. So welcome. Glad you're here. Today's topic, what are we going to talk about? Well, in the intro, I mentioned you are not you. What's that mean, you might ask? It's a great question. We're going to talk about it. And at the end of the video, I'm going to share some ways that you can discover who you are. And again, hopefully help you go down a different path and make some different decisions in your life. Because ultimately, you is determined by the decisions that you make, right? So let's talk about it. First and foremost, let's define who you is now, in this moment, right? Why you are the way that you are. And for that, I have my trusty whiteboard. I don't know why I did that. We're here now. Too late. Okay. You. Always have the Hawkins scale of consciousness over on the side, right? We have your lower vibrational energies, all the red, versus your higher vibrational stuff like your happiness, your peace, your calm, your empathy. Lower vibrational stuff being anger, fear, resentment, right? We'll get more into that on later videos, but I always want to have it up just as a reminder, just to kind of check in with yourself and where you're currently at right now. But who are you? Who's your identity? What is your identity? Who is me? Who are you? Well, your ID is based, identity identification, right? It's not just your driver's license, right? It's not just your passport, right? You have this aura about you. You have this mindset. You have this thought process. You have all these things that make you you. If you don't like that, well, let's discover who you are right now. So how do you do that? Well, let's look at this little arrow right here. So at the bottom, it starts with your state, right? So your current state of mind. So let's say, how do you feel right now? What is your current state? Are you happy? Are you pissed off? Are you sad? Are you depressed? Are you anxious? Are you whatever, right? What's your state right now, right? Because your life is, your ID, your identity, and your life in general is controlled a lot by your current emotions, how you're feeling in the moment, right? Your current state. The good thing is you can always choose to change it if you want to, right? Life's a choice. Make a good one. So what's your current state, right? That goes up to the questions that you ask yourself. So if your current state's pissed off, or if you're not feeling confident, or if you're just feeling more negative state like anger or fear, you're going to ask yourself not the best, most empowering questions possible, right? As an example, if I'm really pissed off, right? If I'm pissed off or angry or fearful, whatever have you, the questions I ask myself are not going to be very empowering questions. They're not going to be questions that are going to help me want to get out of that state and help me get to a different place, right? A place where I can figure out solutions, right? Because let's be honest, and you know this as well as I do, life always is going to have problems. You're never going to escape problems in life. But the point is, do you want to have a poor me mindset or a solution-orientated mindset, right? What's my solution to get out of this problem, right? So your state determines the questions that you ask yourself, right? The questions will then go into your value system, right? What are your values, right? I'll bet you $5, whatever. I'll bet you any money right now that you cannot list your top 5 or 10 values right now without looking them up. I couldn't do it, right? When I did this exercise a while back on a plane ride, I had to literally look up, like, what are examples of values? And then I was able to do it, right? But it's really hard to list your top 5 or 10 values and rank them in order of importance. The point is, your current state determines your current questions, determine your values, right? And your values, if you value, accomplishments or love and connection, creativity, freedom, financial freedom, right? Or whatever have you, right? There's a huge list of values you can go. Whatever your values are, will then determine your references. Why? Because for me, as an example, right, one of my top values is love and connection along with contribution, right? So all the decisions I make are based on love, connection, and contribution. I want to make other people feel happy, and I want to help them, and I want to make other people smile and laugh and all that stuff, right? Because it feels like I'm contributing and I'm making decisions based upon my top values, which makes me feel like I'm living in a more authentic life. And my glasses are all effed up right now, so let's fix that. Hope that makes sense, right? So your values determine your references, right? And why that's, like I said, with me, love and connection being one of my top ones, right? If I make decisions based out of love and connection, I'm going to experience, which my reference is, I'm going to experience different things in life that are based on my value system, right? The things that I value. So references, again, your experiences will then lead you to the beliefs, right? Because all your experiences in life, all your belief system, your references will lead you to your belief system, right? Well, they're global or internal, whatever it is. Well, I guess global is internal, right? It's how you feel about the world and your surroundings, but you get my drift. So your values lead to your references, right? Which is going to be your experiences, which lead to your belief system, which then ultimately leads to who you are, your identity, right? Who you are as a person based on all this stuff. What do you believe? What do you believe is true? What do you believe is fact? What do you believe is right or wrong? Your morals, your ethics, all that stuff. So hope that makes sense, right? So again, let's pause for a sec. I know, awkward part of the video. I hate doing this. My glasses go up, but don't forget to like and subscribe up in the corner. And as always, flyinghealthcoach@gmail.com. Again, health coaching is not me telling you what to do. It's us meeting where you're currently at in life right now, and us together as a team, a unit, if you will, right? Figuring out where do we have to go next? What's the next step for you to get closer to where you want to be? It's not you're at step A right here, let's go to Z. No, it's A to B, B to C, C to D, until you get to the end of the alphabet, to your ultimate life, right? That's health coaching, step by step, or life coaching, if you will. And as always, last but not least, my book, Flying Health Coach, a starting guide how to un-F your life. So if you're so inclined, download 14 pages, 13 or 14 for free. If you like what you read, cool. If not, that's cool too. If you do like what you read, you want to read more and do some workbook stuff out of it, it's available for purchase, lulu.com, link below that in my biography and my YouTube page. That's all I got right now. Let's get back to the meat of the video. So, hope this makes sense, right? Again, just to refresh your state, your current emotional state right now, how you feel, right? Happiness, empathy, calm, peace, or anger, pissed off, depression, anxiety, whatever. Your current state is going to lead to the questions you ask yourself. Those questions are going to be good or bad and lead you down a direction of good or bad, whatever that means to you. It's all relative. That's going to determine your value system, right? If you're in a pissed off state, you're not going to be making decisions based upon your top values, right? So you're not going to live an authentic life doing that. That's going to lead you to having different experiences or your references, right? If you're pissed off all the time, no matter how successful you are, you're never going to be fulfilled in life, right? Because you're pissed off internally. So you're going to seek experiences that aren't going to help you. They're not going to be connected to your top values, right? And those references are going to further enhance your belief system about yourself and of the world. Okay? Hope it's pretty straightforward. Hope you took some notes. So let's get into the other part of the video. You are not you. So hope you understand at least who you are, why you are based upon that picture. But the meat of the video is you are not you. And what does that mean? You are influenced by society. You are influenced by TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I don't know any other, Snapchat. I list other social media things out there. I really don't know all of them. I think that's most of them. If there's more, don't comment because I don't care. But point is, your identity becomes influenced from the below, your state, questions, values, references, beliefs, right? Those 5 things, right? And lead to who you are as a person. But the problem is somewhere in there, and I think it starts with your state, right? When you sit there and you doom scroll on Instagram for God knows how long, for hours on end, or TikTok or whatever, what do you automatically do? You start comparing yourself. You compare yourself to other people's lives. You compare yourself to your friends' lives, your mother, your mom, your dad. You start comparing yourself to all these other people but you, right? That picture, that arrow, right, is based upon you, your identity, not somebody else's, but you become influenced by our outside world. Makes sense. It's just natural. It happens. It happens to me, right? There's a time in my life where I was in my mid-20s and I had my own home, right? I had a great home. I had an awesome town home. I had an awesome car. I was killing it on my fitness stuff. Excuse me. Killing it in all areas of life, right? But I still wasn't happy. Why? Because when I would go on Instagram, I built this persona of my belief system was based on I'll be happy if I can make X amount of money. I'll be happy if I can look a certain way. I'll be happy if I can date a certain person, right? I had all these things in my life that said I'll be happy when. But I never made a decision that was just based upon, what does Mark want to do? What do I want my life to look like? Not what someone else is doing. What do I want my life to look like? And that's all that matters to you, right? Happiness is relative. Okay? Just because your idea of a true happiness might be like a giant house with, a huge family, fancy cars, whatever, right? Or someone else's idea of happiness could be living in a very modest house on a river with a little deck. Or it could be just living in the country in a cabin, log cabin, whatever. It doesn't matter. Happiness is however you define happiness, right? It's not based upon what someone else says. But that's what happens in society is like we get so enamored with what other people are doing. I mean, I'd be willing to bet you probably know more about your friends or your family or celebrities than you do about your own personal growth. I used to be the same way. I cared more about everybody else's stuff, but I didn't have the science of achievement, science of accomplishment for me, right? I could accomplish a bunch of stuff in my mid-20s based upon what I thought would make me happy, and I thought what my identity was, right? But it wasn't until I started diving into personal growth and development and spirituality that I actually discovered who I am, okay? So how do you do that? Well, first and foremost, what's your state? What is your current state right now? Are you happy, depressed, sad, pissed off, angry, fearful, whatever? What is your current state? What kind of questions are you asking yourself? Are you asking yourself empowering questions? Are you asking yourself questions that are going to help you improve your life, right, and get you to the next step? Solution-based questions. Okay, yeah, I'm pissed off right now. Is what is, that's fine. How can I get to a different state, right? I'm going to choose happiness. How do I get there, right? What's that question look like? When you ask that question, that's going to lead you to a different value system, right? I thought my value was accomplishments and success and whatever. But now I'm seeing, and this is not just me, I'm just giving you an example here. Now I'm seeing like I really value contribution, love and connection. Like I don't value what I did, what I thought I did. So when you rearrange your value system, now you're going to start having different experiences. When you have different experiences, you're going to develop a different belief system, which is then going to give you a different identity of who you are. And when you figure that out, when you figure out who you really are, you're going to start to make more decisions based upon your authentic self. So how do you start? Well, you can start with what I just gave you, your state, questions you ask, your values, references, and beliefs, right? You can go step by step through that. But a simple way to do it is ask yourself, if I wasn't on social media, if I had none of that 20 years ago, right? What would I want to do right now? Who would I want to be? Simple question, but it can give you a simple answer. None of this stuff has to be complicated, guys. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here when it comes to choosing who you want to be in your identity. But ask yourself that question. Who are you now? Just know that first, but who do I want to be? When you figure out who you want to be, now you can start asking yourself a question. How do I get there? What's my first step to take to get there? Take that one step, right? Again, we're not going from A to Z here. We're going from A to B, right? Then C, then D, so on and so forth. So that's how you can start doing it. Figure out who you are right now. What's not going in your life that you want to be going correctly? What's not authentic about your life? Who do I want to be? What do I want my life to look like? And be specific with that stuff, right? Get a blueprint of what you want your life to look like and be specific. I want to have, and this is me, a 1967 Chevy Impala. I think it's now I can't even think of it. I think it's an Impala. If anyone that ever watches Supernatural, the car that Dean drives, that's my car. I want a black 67 Impala. I want it to sound this way. I want it to smell this way. I want to have a family of this. I want to have a house like this, a career like this. Get specific with all that stuff. Design your own blueprint, right? When you do that, you have this blueprint of what you want your ID and your life to look like. You get the questions rolling of how am I going to get there now? What do I have to do? What am I, either doing or not doing that's not getting me the result that I want, or that's getting me my current result but not getting me the result that I want to get. Okay? So that's what you can do right now. Who am I right now? Who do I want to be? In the middle, what questions are you asking yourself? Are they empowering or are they disempowering? Okay? Make a choice, guys. Make a choice to choose a positive state. Pick a positive state and start asking yourself better questions, which is going to lead you down a better rabbit hole of discovering who you are and what you want your life to look like. So, hope it's beneficial. Hope these videos help. Again, I do this stuff because I just want you guys to think differently, look for new resources. I'm a huge fan of Tony Robbins. His great book, Awaken the Giant Within. Highly recommend that book. It was definitely a life changer for me. So Tony Robbins, Mark Manson was great. The book, The Self Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's the title of the book. It is what it is. James Clear, Atomic Habits. I have all these books in my my biography. You can click on the link, take you right to Amazon and get them. I think it takes you to the audio version. Doesn't matter, but check out some new books. Emulate people that you want to be like, right? That's another thing that I really found to be helpful for me was having like a coach or a mentor. And I don't know Tony Robbins directly, right? I hope to meet him someday. That'd be awesome. But the life he has and his contribution to society and the things he does for people, the businesses he's built, like if that's a life you want, well, you should emulate what the person's doing that you want and learn from it. Because now as you start to emulate that stuff and you start to go down those different paths, you're going to learn new things for yourself. You're going to grow as a person. And guess what? You're going to help other people do the same thing. And that's fulfillment. Anyways, guys, hope it's beneficial. Peace, and cheers as always. We'll catch you soon.